Hi YouTube, Jeff Lynn's in the garage. Monday the 8th of January 2018. The new cowl panel came in last Friday. We worked the weekend, didn't get out and do much of anything. We've been just kind of messing around today a little. New front windshield, new upper cowl panel, and it's a nice looking panel. Don't see any problems with it. Got it kind of loosely clamped in. Nothing's clamped down tight. We're just kind of looking. There is some spot welds on that under piece in there. We've got to do some grinding down on all that and get it good and smooth. We're gonna sand all that down on the inside, all the way down to the floor pan, where it goes all the way down to the rocker area. Sand all that down, get it in epoxy. Everything's fitting pretty well. Fitting pretty good. A little bit of just where we took that other panel off, this side cowling rippled. That'll hammer and dolly flat, no problem. We'll be able to pinch that together. I got rid of all of our patchwork that we did. Should have done it way back, YouTube. Should have done it way back and got this problem out of the way, but we didn't. So we're gonna do it now. We're gonna try to this weekend, hopefully, try to get everything prepped and ready to receive this panel. We'll clamp this panel in place, kind of like we got it now. Put our windshield stops in, and we'll let that windshield lay in and check the fitment as far as where the roof skin is now. We may end up having to clamp in this area just loosely to get these out of the way, so we can put the windshield in. Before we drill a hole in this panel, before we weld anything, before we put a spot on it, do anything, we're gonna make sure that the windshield is fitting like it's supposed to, up here and here. So not gonna cut, grind, weld, drill, anything till we're 100% sure, YouTube. So we're just gonna come out today and mess around a little, start this video and see how far we can get. And we'll add to it as we go, and that's where we at. That's where we at. Should have done that a long time ago, like I said, to us. Should have done it a long time ago. One thing we will have to do, we will have to take our VIN tag and our ID badge, or whatever they call it, off that old panel and put on this one. We definitely want to do that. So it's a real nice looking panel though. This is a good mark. It's a Taiwan panel. That's all I can tell you. But it was bought off of eBay. It's a good mark. Company panel. It was just kind of middle of the road for its price. Everything was pretty close to the same. This one had free shipping, so I jumped on the free shipping part of it. All right, tubers, we'll get off in. We'll get some more. All right, tubers, Jeff Lynn's in the garage with you. January 13. It's a little before lunchtime. We got the weekend off, so we're going to try to get as much done on this as we can. We're coming along right now, just grinding down where we drilled out the spot welds, trying to get everything straight. We did work on the lower cowl inside there and got things a little straighter. I think we're going to be able to live with what we've got. Not going to try to do any more to the inside other than scuff everything up good and shoot that entire inside with epoxy. I'm pretty happy with the way everything has test fit the last couple of times. So once we get all this cleaned up, shot with epoxy, we're going to clamp it all up good, check the fit of the windshield, and go from there. Probably end up finishing this piece before we get back to the roof skin. So we'll bring you along as we have progress. But right now it's just a little grinding, just trying to get all the little spot weld, any little metal and crap that's left over out of there. So little cleanup work, and we'll bring you back. All right, too, we're just coming along, trying to lay this panel out. We got it clamped in exactly where it's going, and it's fitting good everywhere. We'll have to do just a little bit of squeezing together, which is not anything surprising with this old metal, but it's not bad. But we got it laid out about every 2.5 inches across here. For the dash part of it, we've got it marked on the inside, and we'll come along and drill very small pilot holes and then open them up enough to do our spot welds across here. I could lay that old panel on there and go by that to be able to mark it from the front, but that old panel is when I took it off, it's kind of crooked, and I don't want to take the time to straighten it out. I believe I can drill it from the back side just as quick and easy, and it'll be just as good. Once I drill the small hole, I'll come back from this side and drill. That way, if there's any deforming of the metal, it'll be down that way instead of coming out this way. But the heat from the welder is going to take care of most of any of that. We're clamping up pretty good here. Right in this seam area, there's a little opening from there to there. I believe that will squeeze in with a clamp. I have not put a clamp on it yet. In this area here, we've got about the same thing. Before we do much of anything, we're going to come in here and put this back. We ground this all out. It had been welded on, I'm sure, from the accident where it got deformed. But I decided to take all that out, and I'm going to take a solid piece of rod, weld both sides of it, and then grind it down to match the other side. And I think we'll be fine. We do have one spot weld hole on the top, both sides. And then again, about every 2 inches here around this perimeter. These spot welds across just up under the dash area are, I measured, they're about every 3 to 3.5. Nothing real consistent, but we'll try to be a little more consistent with it because I don't know if we'll finish it out and try to make it just smooth as glass with body filler or not. I'm not sure exactly what I need to do there, but that's a little down the road. But anyway, we've got the panel where we want it. We feel comfortable with where it is. Fits pretty good. So we're going to pull it off and come down 1 inch from our line and hope that ends up being right where we need to drill this, because that's going to be seen when you open the hood and all that. So we'll see. Some of it's going to be right kind of up under the windshield too, so we don't want to get it doing that. All right, YouTube, we'll have some progress, we'll bring you around. All right, YouTube, just come along here and repair this edge where we had ground all that out, and looks pretty good. We're going to dress it up a little bit, grind it out some, and I think we got this thing pretty much ready. We're going to spray it once we get that took care of, and we'll bring it along. Let's see what it looks like. All right, tubers, Jeff, Lindsay in the garage. It is about 5 p.m. Saturday the 13th, and after a lot of work, a lot of welding, a lot of grinding, and a lot of prep to this inner or lower cowl, whatever you want to call it, and firewall. We got it sprayed in epoxy just a few minutes ago, and we just soaked it down good, because this will be sealed up. This will be the last time I ever see this, more than likely. So we did decide to come along here and back that with that copper plate. There were several holes that went all the way through where I drilled out the spot welds, and so we filled those in just in case we get right up on top of one when we start welding back. That wouldn't be a good scenario, so hopefully we won't hit anything but good solid metal. Like I say, I soaked it good. I soaked it all the way down to the bottom on both sides. Everywhere I could get to with that gun, I soaked it. So it'll definitely take overnight, if not more, for all that to dry. And one reason we're quitting, we're not even gonna punch the cowl today, is we opened the big door, plugged up that fan when we were spraying, and it went from about 68 degrees in the shop to about 50 real quick. The temperature is dropping outside, and that's my source of heat, and it does real good. It warms it up in here quick, but I definitely don't want to run that with these fumes in the air. I don't know if it caused a problem or not. Probably wouldn't, but it gives me a chance just to get on out of here for the day. And when we get back in here in the morning, if it's warm enough, when it warms up enough, we got this thing marked and ready. We'll punch it. And my thinking on this epoxy, instead of doing weld through primer and all that, what my plan, and you can see that where these welds are going to be in these areas, I soaked it good with epoxy. And what my plan is to clamp that panel in place, and then to come through the spot weld holes that I drilled in the panel and scratch out just a little bit of area. That will give me, I think, more protection than anything. I've seen the weld through primer, how it burns away. You know, this is probably going to be, I think this will be just as good as anything else I could have done. So I'm just going to let that epoxy dry good, and then I'll come through and bare that, mark them and bare them just enough to get the weld started. And once you get the weld started, it'll get there. It'll penetrate and do what it needs to do. So we'll probably upload this video. Let's see where we at with this part of the project, this part of the fix. And as soon as we get this thing welded in tomorrow, we're going to get back on the roof skin. We'll obviously test the windshield and all first. But that's where we at, YouTube. We're just trying to make some repairs. Repairs on top of repairs. And I think we're going to be good with all that we did here. It looks real good. We cleaned it all up. Shot it good and heavy with epoxy on up into there. So I think we're going to be fine. Everything looks pretty decent. So even the halfway repair we done right in that area right there, we got a lot of it out, but I'm not concerned with it because the cowl panel, the upper panel, fits in there good side to side. You can see where they're marked about a 1/2 inch from the edge on each side. That tells me that thing's laying in there good and nothing is too far out of shape, I don't think, to cause any problems. So we're going to go with it like it is. And we'll get back out here tomorrow. Hopefully this will be good and dry and we can go with it. Get it all test fit again. Test fit the windshield. And if we'll go on the windshield, we're going to start punching holes in the roof skin. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been out here on it. We just left it like it was when we started on the cowl panel. So we're going to leave it at that, YouTube. I want to thank everybody for watching. And we'll get started back on this thing again in the morning.